Most people picture intelligence as something obvious. Fast talkers, quick comebacks, people who always have the right answer at the right time. But real intelligence often looks very different. It's quieter, slower, more internal. Highly intelligent people don't always stand out by how much they say, but by how they think, notice patterns, and respond to the world around them. This video isn't about IQ scores, labels, or ranking who's smarter than who. Instead, we're looking at 10 subtle habits that psychologists and researchers frequently observe in people with strong cognitive abilities. These aren't flashy traits, and most people who have them don't even realize they do. In fact, many intelligent individuals grow up feeling different, like they process things more deeply, question more, or move at a different mental pace. If you've ever felt that way, this video might help you understand why. Habit 1. They pause before they speak. Highly intelligent people are rarely impulsive with their words. When they're asked a question, they don't rush to respond. Instead, there's often a short pause. To most people, that pause looks like hesitation. But mentally, a lot is happening. Their brain is organizing information, separating facts from emotions, deciding what actually needs to be said, and what doesn't. This moment of silence isn't confusion. It's control. Rather than speaking from a noisy or emotional mental state, they wait until their thoughts are clear. They prioritize accuracy over speed. This habit dramatically reduces misunderstandings. It prevents emotional reactions from being mistaken for logic, and it allows their responses to create clarity instead of more confusion. Highly intelligent people aren't slow thinkers. They're precise thinkers. They'd rather take a few extra seconds to respond than spend hours fixing the consequences of speaking too fast. Habit 2. They question beyond the obvious. Highly intelligent people are rarely satisfied with surface-level explanations. When they hear phrases like, "That's just how it is," their mind doesn't relax. It becomes curious, not out of stubbornness, but because incomplete information creates mental tension. Their brain naturally looks for structure, for missing steps, for what's being assumed but not said. When they ask why, it isn't to challenge authority or start an argument. It's to understand how something actually works. They want to see the full framework behind an idea, not just the conclusion. And once they find an explanation that truly makes sense, they don't simply remember it. They absorb it. They connect it to other ideas. They store it as a tool for solving future problems. To them, accepting a shallow answer feels like judging a book by its cover. You recognize the title, but you never understand the story inside. Habit 3. They recognize patterns. Where others see chaos. Highly intelligent people don't force themselves to analyze everything. Their mind does it automatically. They notice connections across time, small shifts in behavior, repeated themes in conversations, subtle signals most people overlook. What feels random to others often feels organized to them. They don't see isolated moments. They see sequences. They sense continuity instead of coincidence. This doesn't mean they're trying to predict the future. It means they understand that people, systems, and environments tend to follow patterns, even when those patterns are subtle or incomplete. That's why they often feel something is off before they can explain it. Their intuition isn't guesswork. It's pattern recognition built from quiet observation. And once your mind starts seeing how things connect, it's hard to go back. The world stops feeling simple, because you can't unsee the structure beneath the noise. Habit 4. They instinctively fix what isn't working. Highly intelligent people struggle to ignore inefficiency. When they encounter a broken process, a messy routine, or a problem that keeps repeating, their mind immediately starts searching for a better way. Not because they crave control, but because optimization feels natural to them. They enjoy improving things, turning something clunky into something smooth, transforming confusion into order. For them, refining a system delivers the same mental satisfaction others get from solving puzzles. You'll often see this show up in small, everyday ways. A quicker way to organize tasks, a clearer method of communication, a simple habit that removes unnecessary stress. Even when the system isn't theirs, they can't help noticing its potential. That's why they often become the unspoken problem solver at work or in social settings, even when they never asked for the role. Their frustration doesn't come from disagreement. It comes from seeing an obvious solution that everyone else seems to miss. Habit 5. They read to transform. They're thinking highly intelligent people don't treat reading like a checklist. Finishing a book isn't the goal. Changing how they think is. They're drawn to material that reshapes perspective. Psychology, philosophy, science, history, and ideas from unfamiliar fields. Their curiosity moves across topics because they aren't collecting information. They're collecting mental models. Every new subject becomes another way to interpret the world. That's why they often read slowly. They pause, they highlight, they reread passages. Sometimes they stop mid-chapter just to think. And yes, they sometimes abandon books entirely. Not out of boredom, but because they've already taken what they needed. To them, reading isn't about quantity. It's about impact. If a single paragraph alters the way they see something, that book has already done its job. Habit 6. They think in layers, not circles. Highly intelligent people don't get stuck in anxious overthinking. Their thinking is structured. Instead of replaying the same worry, they examine situations from multiple angles. What could happen? Why it might happen? Which variables actually matter? And how different choices lead to different outcomes. They mentally test scenarios before acting, not to eliminate risk, but to understand it. This layered approach creates calm. By the time uncertainty shows up externally, they've already explored it internally. That's why they adapt quickly. When new information appears, they update their perspective without defensiveness or ego. Their mind isn't trapped in a loop. It's a flexible framework, constantly refining itself. Habit 7. They use silence as a thinking tool. For many people, silence feels uncomfortable, like something needs to be filled. For highly intelligent individuals, silence does the opposite. It creates space. Quiet moments allow their mind to sort through complex thoughts, process emotions, and connect ideas from the day. Silence acts like a mental reset, a place where the brain can slow down and reorganize. They don't seek quiet to avoid others. They seek it to reconnect with themselves. A walk alone, a calm morning, even a brief moment of stillness in a noisy environment. That's where clarity forms. That's where ideas settle. And that's where insights quietly surface. Their silence isn't withdrawal. It's active processing. Habit 8. They practice radical self-honesty. Highly intelligent people don't waste energy protecting their ego. When something goes wrong, their first instinct isn't to blame circumstances, luck, or other people. It's to look inward. They ask questions like, what role did I play in this? What can I adjust next time? What is this situation trying to show me? Mistakes aren't personal attacks to them. They're information. Every error becomes feedback. Every setback becomes a lesson. This kind of honesty isn't self-criticism. It's clarity. And clarity is what allows real improvement to happen. Habit 9. They manage energy. Before they manage time. Highly intelligent people don't try to be productive every minute of the day. Instead, they pay close attention to how their mind actually works. They notice when their focus is sharp, when creativity flows, and when mental energy naturally drops. Rather than forcing the same type of work all day long, they align tasks with the mental state best suited for them. Deep focus work during peak hours, creative thinking when the mind is more flexible. Simple or routine tasks when energy is lighter. They also protect these rhythms. They limit distractions, avoid constant task switching, and allow time for mental recovery. To them, productivity isn't about controlling the clock. It's about understanding the mind behind it. Habit 10. They choose clarity over complexity. Highly intelligent people don't try to impress with their words. They don't inflate ideas to sound smarter. They simplify them. When they communicate, their goal isn't performance. It's understanding. They take complex thoughts and translate them into language that feels clear, grounded, and accessible. Instead of adding layers, they remove what isn't necessary. This comes from empathy, an awareness that real communication is about connection, not display. They understand that clarity shows respect for the listener's time, attention, and ability to understand. An idea only becomes powerful once it can be understood, and that's why they value clarity far more than sounding intelligent. These habits aren't about superiority or labels. They simply reflect a quieter way of thinking, one that processes the world with depth, awareness, and intention. If you recognized yourself in even a few of them, you don't need a test to validate anything. Your daily patterns already say enough. The more important question isn't, how intelligent am I? It's, how effectively am I using the mind I already have? So now I'm curious. Which habit stood out the most to you? Drop the number in the comments.